Well, former Citizens Coalition for Change MP Job Sikhala has been sentenced to 2 years imprisonment, suspended for 5 years. Sikhala was arrested on June 14, 2022 for inciting public violence. After spending almost 600 days in prison, he is to be released with immediate effect.
After Job Sikhala's conviction, the sentence was today and we have just come out of court. Job Sikhala has been given a 2-year prison term, wholly suspended for a period of 5 years, on condition that he does not commit a crime involving incitement to commit public violence. What is the legal effect of that? The legal effect of that is that he is now a free man. This is the only case that has been keeping him in custody, so he is going to come out.
Well, we joined on Zoom by academic and author Professor Ibbo Mandaza. Prof, good evening to you and thank you very much for your time tonight. There was a great deal of celebration we saw outside the Harare Magistrates Court after that ruling. But given the conditions of Sikhala's incarceration in solitary confinement, the suspended sentence, the political climate in Zimbabwe, as well as the recent resignation of Nelson Chamisa, how much freedom do you think Sikhala is going to have to actually do his work?
Well, we don't know. I think for the time being, we wish to celebrate his belated freedom. And the man has been there 600 days. What he does after this is up to him. But I think for the moment, we have this albatross taken off. He can join his family and friends. So I don't think that we need to discuss what he would do and what his plans are. That's up to him, really.
So if we look then, Prof, to the developments in Parliament, the party itself, turmoil there with leaders, with members being recalled, Chamisa's resignation statement declaring that the party's been contaminated, hijacked by government. Given this context, what do you say, what do you think about the future then of the party?
Well, I think the opposition movement in general, and Triple C in particular, is in turmoil. It's very clear. And it's a long story to analyze the causes of this. But I think it's twofold. It has to do with the leadership style of Chamisa himself in the first instance. But more important, with a state which since independence has regarded all opposition movements as enemies. Enemies to be annihilated, to be destroyed if necessary. And it raises questions really about the polity, about the state in Zimbabwe, a peculiar situation that you have. Only one state in the region which does not tolerate opposition. So why have a parliament, and the new parliament for that matter, if you don't have opposition in the opposite benches? It's a serious paradox, but all said it's a serious indictment on our politics in Zimbabwe.
So what's the fix? I mean, you think about careerists like Job Sikhala. He's been in politics, part of the MDC, all the way back in 1999, part of that founding group, 23 years in politics now, still at this point in his career finding himself incarcerated under really terrible conditions. This suspended sentence, even though, as you say, we've got to take this moment, or, people who support him have got to take this moment to just breathe a sigh of relief for the moment. But there is this context that you've been painting with us now. What is it going to take for opposition to really take hold and to thrive credibly in Zimbabwe?
The opposition will always be there. It's there. You can't wish it away. What is at issue here is the leadership thereof. And I think in due course, the opposition will find its feet and will reorganize. I think that's clear. What has been happening now so far with respect to the extent to which the state has sought to decimate the formal opposition is really, for me, a symptom of the last throes of a regime, this process of which began in earnest with the coup in 2017. I don't think that the state can recover from this, neither politically nor economically. So it really depends on the social forces, the opposition forces at home and abroad, to see how they can combine forces with all patriots and redeem the country. The country is calling for redemption, no doubt about that.
It must be, as you share this, and I recall interviews that the SABC has, did with you post-elections in Zimbabwe. We saw that when, or the numbers, really strong numbers by the Triple C, and contestation around whether those elections were credible or not. And this kind of, back and forth constantly in Zimbabwean society between, hoping for an opposition that can kind of find its moment in a position of leadership, and that being affected or influenced by a number of factors, in the country. How does a moment like this, what does a moment like this mean? As you say, part of the story is that society is going to push back. There are reports just today about, you can be a millionaire in Zimbabwe with just $100 as at today. That the currency is devalued and depreciated, and all of the other struggles that we see in Zimbabwean society. When you say that the clock is effectively, running out and on the state, how much time do you think we're talking about here, given all of these factors?
One doesn't want to be predictive. Clearly, we have been on the slide, the first slide since 2017. There are no indications at all that we are recovering. If anything, it's the currency. The issue is a big indicator. I was out of the country 3 weeks ago. I left. The exchange rate was 6,000. I came back last week and it's 12,000. Sure. So the slide continues. It's a clear indication of the inexorable decline of the economy, which raises a very important point. Zimbabwe needs a political and economic solution sooner rather than later, on the basis of which we can join the international community of nations, recover our economy, restore confidence, and even get the 4 million plus in the diaspora back home. The 75% of professionals and skilled were outside, at least some of them back home. But it requires the political and economic solution, settlement in the first instance. And I think this is something that some of us are working at. It requires a lot of thinking, a lot of collaboration, and also the support of the region, the support of South Africa, and the support of the international community. But I think it is a responsibility of Zimbabweans in the first instance.
Yeah. Well, thank you for narrating the story of Zimbabwe and its fortunes politically right now through your lens. Professor Ibbo Mandaza, Zimbabwean academic, just reflecting on the imminent release now of MP Job Sikhala. It's expected to happen from Chikurubi prison within the next day or so. We'll keep you updated on that story.